everyone. I'm Karen Combs and welcome to FlossTube 23. It has been a while since we had a regular FlossTube, a month, because 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we did the special edition visit to the Carter House, and thank you for all of your lovely comments. I enjoyed putting that together. That was fun. I wish we'd had a little more color in the trees, but you know, it is what it is. So I enjoyed putting it together. Thank you for all your comments, and I'm glad you enjoyed that. If you didn't watch it, it's, well, just look under Carter House in the playlist under the FlossTube playlist, and you can find it. And there's links if you want more information about the house, the battle, Franklin, things like that. But a month ago, we did a FlossTube, and I've been working on a few things since then, which I'll show you. And we have some questions to answer, a little bit of haul, and I might have a basket of things to dive into. We'll see how our time is. And for those of you that are new, thank you for joining us. This is my FlossTube playlist. I also have videos about quilting and quilting tips. That will be under a different playlist, but this is our FlossTube, which will be about cross-stitch, stitching, might even show you what I've been knitting. Throw that in there. But let's get started. So I had a question on the Dorcas Haynes, which I'll show you in a few minutes. I had JJ and Judy, which this is fun because their names start with a J, and they ask on the Dorcas Haynes sampler, where's the J? Which I thought when I was writing up who had asked that, I just thought, oh, of course. That's wonderful. They would notice, where's the J? And did you all notice that? When I show that, take a look. So I'm going to put a link to this, but I found an explanation, and I suspected it was because it was an early alphabet, but I wasn't sure. So on the Smithsonian website, and I'll put a link to this, they had an article about early American samplers. And I'll just read you a couple sentences of what it says, and then I'll link to the article if you'd like to read more. But it says, many early samplers do not have the letter J or the letter U in their alphabet because they were not part of the early Latin alphabet. So the letter I, I'm trying to read this without my glasses, the letter I is used for J, and the letter V is used for U. The letter S is often replaced with a printer's S, which looks like a modern day F. So I thought that was a great question, and thank you for that because forced me to look it up. And so when you see early samplers that are missing letters, it's because they weren't part of the alphabet at that time. So thank you for that question, and I'll put a link to that. And last time we talked about FlossTube 22, we talked about what is special about Lakeside Linen, and I couldn't remember who asked because I couldn't find the question, but Jackie asked, so thank you for popping in. And I did put a little explanation in FlossTube 22 and a link to a lovely interview that Nicola Parkman did with Pat from Lakeside Linen. So if you're interested in that, I'm gonna put a link in this video, but you can also go back to FlossTube 22 and find that link. So what have I been working on? Well, last night we had the Tudor Rose Sampler Guild meeting, and I haven't worked on this all month. Kind of save it for when I'm meeting with my stitching group or sitting and stitching with people, or in this case it was with Zoom. It's my Live on Little, because I am working on right now a fill-in. So let me show you. I love this sampler so much. Or this design, it's not really a sampler, but I love this design so much. Here it is. I think I'm gonna have to stand up and show you. There you go. So got the side of the house that faces the water done. And still have the border to do, and I have the bottom to do. But there it is. Let me back up there. There we go. You see the whole thing. That house is extraordinary. Now, I did kind of flash the pattern quickly. Let me hold it up so you can see. It's by Plum Street. It's called Live on Little. And it's a big one. I'm doing it on, and I have to look at my notes because I don't remember what I'm doing it on. 40 count Lakeside Vintage Maritime White is what I'm doing it on. So plugging away on it, still has some things in the sky to do under that star. And of course the border and the bottom, but I love it. It is so pretty. All right, so let me move this out of the way and lay this down because I'm gonna grab it in a minute. Let me lay that right there. I also did a lot of work on this one. Now, this one I ask a question about. And it is Americana Red by October House Fiber Arts. Let me back up so you can see it. That's the title. There it is. And I just think this is so pretty. And I had started it, just started it, and I was using Classic Colorworks Licorice Red. There's that. And the linen I'm using is 36 count to bloom. And I wasn't sure if I liked it. So some of the suggestions were change the linen, obviously, yes, but I really, and I don't want to show you yet, I'm going to show you where we're at. I love the linen. Let me just hold up. There it is. And I didn't really want to change the linen. And one of the other comments, which good one, 2 strands. Oh, I'm showing it. I don't want to show it yet. So I tried 2 strands. It was too thick. So then I went and bought some other reds. But I kept coming back to how much I loved those together. So I thought, well, I'm going to show you if I can show you just the corner. No, I was going to show you the whole thing. So I'm looking at the pattern. And what I was starting with was up here, which is kind of faint on my linen, but then I was looking at the rest of the pattern. Look how dense some of the motifs are. And I kept thinking, I love this floss and I love the linen together. I think if I keep going, it will be okay. So I'm going to show you, and it is okay. So I stayed with my original plan, and here it is. Now, if I get really close, it's a little bit washed out. The color, it's more yellow. It's not a good representation. It's pretty good. But look at, see the very top right here was where it looked too faint. But it's okay. So that's 1 strand over 2 on 36 count with Classic Colorworks Licorice Red on 36 count to bloom. So I worked on this quite a bit. You'll notice in the pictures in the beginning of our video here, I had a picture of the ocean. My husband and I were able to go down to the Gulf Coast for a few days. Has it been 2 weeks now, a week and a half ago? And I worked on this several days while we were there. So we did that. You'll also notice in the video opening, my garden has been put to bed. We do have a lot of really pretty color right now, but big winds, and our weather's going to change. It's beautiful right now, but it's going to get colder. So a lot of those leaves will be gone. So I did put a picture of the color in our neighborhood. And what else did I put in there? the garden that's gone, and then some things I'm working on. So I really love how this is turning out. That's the color. There it is. That kind of golden color. So worked on that. Sorry for the cough. Should have had a cough drop before I started. And I've also worked quite a bit on Hannah Smith 1802. Now the reason that I started this is I was looking at the Whitney antique site, and it's been quite a while ago, and I don't remember why I was looking there, but I did, and I saw the antique sampler, and here it is. And I really fell in love with the faded quality of it. So I knew I wanted a linen that looked older. And after trying quite a few different greens, I ended up with Classic Colorworks Peapod. So I'll show you, I've been working on the edge. And let me hold this up so you can see it. Let me tuck these in and show you that. So this is done on 36 count dirty teacup using the Classic Colorworks Peapod, and it's turning out really pretty. There it is. So I decided I was working in the middle and I stopped because I think I need to fix something in there. So rather than take the time to analyze that, I knew that the outside edge was correct. So I just kept going around, and I think it's the circle that I have. I've got something off just a tad, so I need to analyze it. Because I shouldn't have even told you. But, you know, don't we tell all? So there it is, and the color is Dirty Teacup, and I think if I get back like that, that's a little bit more representational. And the pink color in there is, I think it's Cappuccino. Yeah, let me hold it up. It's Weeks Cappuccino. And there's just a couple spots of that. Yeah. So those are the two colors that I'm using. I think the pattern called for something really, really light, and I decided to pump it up a little bit. So there we go. So I've been working quite a bit on that. And I have one more that I've been working on. And we talked about it quite a bit last time. And it is, got something, sorry, like stepping on something, a piece of tape or something. So it is Dorcas Haynes. And this is by the Scarlet House. And I am using kind of a long story about what I'm using, which I go into a little bit more in the last floss tube, so I won't go into all of it. But I am using 35 count linen, that's the color, linen by Weeks, and I'm using a Versoise silk, and I'm also using Vicki Clayton silk. I'm kind of interspersing them. So here it is. Oh, this is the most beautiful sampler. Now, yes, it does have some specialty stitches, so I'm working on those. Here it is. And you can see I've started filling in on the third row with the satin stitch. And I started to do the outline of row 5, and I'm not happy with it. So I may tweak that color. I haven't decided yet. So that's why I went on to the alphabet. So there it is. And this is one of those samplers that has a couple variations. The Scarlet Letter variation is charted from the front, so the colors will be a little more muted. And that's the colors that I purchased from the Vicki Clayton silk pack. I think it also has, yes, it has DMC. I think I can show you this, okay, real quick. It has DMC and it also has the Aversois silk, and I decided to go ahead and get the silk pack. But I did want to, and where's my notes, mention, because in the last video, Desert Stitcher was at the Attic, and she was kitting up Dorcas Haynes, and instead of a Aversois, she wanted to do 103 silk, and the Attic has a conversion for that. So if you're interested in that, they have a conversion. So what I'm doing, because I wanted it to be a little brighter, and some of you, or maybe many of you, may know that there's a pattern that's hard to get. It's the Darlene Osteen, I believe I have the name right. She did a class years ago, and it is charted from the back, so the colors are a little brighter. And I've seen pictures of it. So I decided, because I love the muted colors, but I wanted them just a little brighter, and they're not all super muted, but I wanted them just a little brighter, a little pumped up. So what I'm doing is, well, I have it ready here for you. The Fitzwilliam Museum has the sampler online. I'll put another link to that. Let me pull it up. You can zoom in so closely that you can see even if the stitches go under the linen. Yeah, there we go. Look how close I'm zoomed up. So what I'm doing is looking at the colors on that zoomed up version of the sampler. It's the real sampler. Okay, let me just show you an example here. So for instance, on that flower, I made that light pink, really light pink instead of faded light pink. So let me show you here. So I'm just pumping it up just a little bit, using the silk pack as a guide, and then in some instances I'm using the color in the silk pack because I like how it looks. So that's what I've been working on. And I'll show you the pattern of the cover one more time. So the row with all the queen stitch is where I started, and I thought, I'm gonna keep going and I'll come back to that. So I'm actually signed up to take the Queen City Guild is having Nicola Parkman next May, and I'm signed up for that workshop. And she's going to cover a lot of specialty stitches. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to keep going with what I feel comfortable with. And if there's a stitch in here, like the queen stitch, I'm going to save that till after the workshop, because there certainly is enough else to do that then I can do it after the workshop. So I think it's just like in quilting. I would tell people that if you have a project that you're started with and you get bogged down, set it aside, because your skill level will increase. And that way you can come back to it and it won't be as difficult. So I'm going to follow my own advice with this sampler and stitch what I'm doing that I'm comfortable with and feel good about. But like the queen stitch, I started and it's like, it's looking a little messy. I'm not happy with it. So I'm going to wait until after that class and then revisit it and keep going on it. So those are the things that I've been working on. Get my notes here. I cover everything. I do have a little bit of haul because it's been a month since I've been with you. This is the Fox and Rabbit Fabric of the Month Club. Look at this. Glacier Melt. Oh, it's pretty. Flip it around so you can see. Now that leads me to one of my other pieces of haul. I was watching the video with Jacob and Evertote in Canada. They sponsored Jacob, and oh, that looked like a fantastic workshop. And I loved the video, so I'll put a link. Let me make a note to that floss tube. And it was with Jacob and Evertote shop in Canada. So I went on the website to order a couple of things from Jacob. I might have ordered these from the shop. I can't remember, but I ordered the PDF. And I ordered two things that I printed out immediately. This is one, and I haven't kitted it. I just wanted to have it. Modern Folk, it is Home Sweet Home. Let me back up so you couldn't see the name. I just loved that house. So I haven't kitted it yet, but I loved it. And you can personalize it. Let me show you. It's got the letters. It's got, you could put your initials, the date you're working it on, or working with it. The other one I ordered, which leads me to some haul, is the Biscuit Mill. This is by Modern Folk Embroidery. I just loved that. And I thought, if I have the blue linen, then all I need is the white and the dark blue and the white. So I was thinking of this, but it's kind of bright compared to this, and I like the look of that. It's kind of vintagey. So I was looking through my stash, and I have this, which is Stone by Fiber on a Whim, which I did use. And what did I use that for? Oh, Bonnie's Bittersweet. So it's kind of a gray blue, and I did pull a couple of flosses to go with it. But this isn't what I'm doing, but I'll show you where I was thinking. So I was debating between the dark blue, the light blue. Let me hold that up. So I do have that pulled, and this is silk, which I thought it just was too dark, too strong a contrast. And on here, you notice it blends a little more. So I set that aside because when we went down to the Gulf, I knew that I was going to visit a needlework shop there. Just move this out of the way. And the needlework shop I visited is Creative Needle Arts. And I'm going to flip this over, which has the information, their phone number, but more important, hit that symbol, takes you to their website. So let me flip this around again, so if you want to take a screenshot of that. So while I was there, I was looking specifically for linen for this. And they had several, well, they had some bins of linen, more than one of each count. It was great. And I should have bought more, I know, but I'm trying to be thoughtful as I purchase things. Because I have a lot of linen, and I already had some that had come in that I'd ordered. But I found this that I think is going to be perfect. This is 40 count Over the Moon by Color and Cotton. And they had a lot of color and cotton there at the shop. So there it is. It's just kind of a gray blue. And then here are the other two colors. Winnie B, let's see. Winnie Bee Blue by Weeks, and the other one is Garden Trellis by Classic Colorworks. I think that's going to be perfect. I was really happy with that. So I don't know when I'll start that, but I've got everything now to start. So the stone was okay, but I really liked what I found there. And the other thing I purchased there, I only bought that and this. This I've seen online, and I'm glad I could see it in person because it's big. It is, let me hold it up. I've got a ruler here. It's 2 inches. Yeah, it's big. But I've seen this, but look, it's a real working color wheel. Now it's heavy, so I wouldn't put it on a hoop I'm holding because it's got some heft to it. But if you're doing something on a frame, you could. But I'm just going to enjoy using it to look at in my stitching room. And it is by, this magnet's really strong. Did you hear that when the magnet hit? It's by Mag Friends. And I know I've seen these online. fobfriendsblogspot.com. So you could, if you're interested in that, you could call the shop, Creative Needleworks. If they're out, you could try Etsy. I know I've seen them online. There's different places. But I'll hold the ruler up to it, you can see. Couple inches. So I just, as soon as I saw it, and it comes in black or white, and that turns, I thought, oh yeah, done. That's got to come home with me. So those are the things that I purchased at the shop, and I have a couple of charts that I purchased. I know many of you have probably purchased this too, the re-release of Blackbird Bringing Good Cheer. I adore that. No, Bringing Good Cheer. Let me back up so you can get the title. Bringing Good Cheer. Here's the antique, and I think they added a berry basket to it. So I just love that. And the other one that I ordered, Peppermint and Holly. And it's got 10 different designs in it. No, a lot of people have waited for that, so I thought I'm going to jump on it so I have it. So ordered that and saw this, and I just think it's so pretty. It's Prairie Schooler Village Green, and I just love the middle little village. I love all of them, but really love that. Let me back up so you get the whole thing and go in close so you can see it. So ordered that, just charming. It reminds me of the Houses of Hawk Run Hollow, just that kind of charming look. And then this is new by Kathy Barrick, and Heaven and Nature Sing. I think I saw there's a silk pack available from Vicki Clayton for this. I think that's where I saw it. I may have to order that. But I haven't kitted it. It's got NPI silk and DMC. I might pull the DMC and see what I think. But ordered that. And then I do have a little bit of linen that I picked up. Let me get that ready to show you. You remember I was talking about, Legacy Linen. No, Lakeside Linen. Sorry, I have some legacy here. Lakeside Linen. And how do you find it? How do you purchase it? Well, you search for it. That's what I do. But you can also go to Traditional Stitches in Canada and get in line for when it comes in. So I did that, and I can't remember how many colors I ordered, and some came right away. And I did that back in February, and I just got a new shipment of some things that came in. So I wanted to show you those, because I think I have a couple more colors that I'm waiting on, but I'm getting them. So it's good. You just have to be patient if you want to do it that way, but then you know you're going to get it. So this is Vintage Maritime White. And I'm going to hold up some Country Mocha, Vintage Country Mocha, so you can see the difference. So it's a little bit lighter. Now, this is what's interesting, if I can get to it here without destroying everything. There we go. My Live on Little is done on Vintage Maritime White. You can see that the dye lot's a little bit different, which happens. It's just a hair different. Actually, it's not as different as I thought. I'm just going to pull it out. When I looked at it through the plastic, I thought, oh, that's really different. It's not. So I ordered more of that because I just love the color. So that Live on Little is on Vintage Maritime White, and I did get that from Traditional Stitches. They have a website that you can, that's how I did order. Just know that it's going to take a little while. Maybe. Could be right away. I also ordered Vintage Bisque, 40 count. And this one's very light. I'll hold up next to the Vintage Country Mocha. So it's very light. Where's the Maritime White? So you can see the difference. Bisque is lighter. This is Bisque. This is Maritime White. Vintage Maritime White. And then the other one that I got in is Vintage Lentil, which is kind of a gray-green color. You can see it's a little bit more green. Flip it over so you can see the whole thing. Yeah, that's good. You know, there's that color Velt that's used in Come Into My Garden. I'm wondering if this Vintage Lentil might work. I have to think about that. And then somebody on Facebook, on one of the Facebook groups, must have lucked into an estate sale because they were putting all kinds of things online. And I jumped on it and was able to grab just a couple pieces because most of it was gone instantly. But this is a brand I've not heard of before, so I was glad to get some. This is Fortnite Fabrics. This is 40 count Alfred. Let me put it's a little bit lighter than the Vintage Country Mocha. And I just purchased these because I knew 40 count, I'll use it. There wasn't time to analyze, do I like the color? I just purchased it. And then this one is interesting. This is also by Fortnite. This is Edith. It's quite orange, but it's light. And it reminded me of the Amber Waves by Atomic Ranch, but look at the difference. This is Amber Waves. It's more yellow-orange, and this is more orange. So you can see the difference. And the other piece of linen I got in that estate sale is Legacy Linen. It's 45 count Jersey Cream. And it's, where is that? Bisque. Very similar. All right, this is Bisque, this is Lakeside Bisque, this is Legacy Jersey Cream. Very similar. So if you're looking for vintage bisque, you might look at the Jersey Cream. Might be an option for you. Did I hold this up next to the Vintage Country Mocha? So those are the linens that I got. A couple of linens I purchased and a couple I purchased from an estate sale. And let me check my notes because I think, yes, I wanted to tell you about a couple things. Where are we at? 36 minutes. We might get into this basket. So I was watching a couple different floss tubes. I mentioned the one with Evertote and Shop and Jacob, but I was also watching Kim, who is Mrs. Flossie, and her last video, last floss tube, she had several guests. She had Contented Needleworker Kim. She also had Diane, who is the woodpecker's daughter, on Instagram. Great video. Enjoyed it a lot. But they were showing, I'm just going to pull this up. They were showing, there we go. I think it was Diane had done this beautiful box, might have been one of the jewelry boxes, and she had a little oval monogram in a beautiful alphabet, and she showed a book that she got it from. And then I was looking at that, and I was thinking about ordering the book, but then I remembered, I talked about this in one of my earlier floss tubes. It might have been the second one, the third one, might have even been the first, but I don't think so. I think it was the second or third. There is a website that's got tons of patterns, booklets. It's called, and I talked about this before, and you may know about it, but it's called Antique Pattern Library. And I'll put a link to it. So antiquepatternlibrary.org. So I just I just put in the search bar, French alphabets, cross stitch, and came up with a whole bunch of listings, which you can then look at a preview page, or you can look at the PDF. Now, these are free. You can't sell them, you can't reproduce them for sale, but you can use them. And I wanted to show you just a couple of the alphabets that were in the Sajou book. I get to it. Look at this. I thought, oh, that's perfect. There it is, just a little bit lighter. So that one is, I'll show you a couple more. I mean, it's just beautiful. There's 4 alphabets in that booklet. And that one is, I'll point it out. It's Sajou publication, 1880. I'm just going to zoom up here so you can see it. It's this pink one. But you could even type in Sajou and scan it. But there's just all kinds. I didn't even get very far, and I found that, and I thought, well, that would be perfect. So just wanted to give you that little information because it's packed full. So I'll put a link to that in there. And and I forgot to tell you about this. That's why I make notes. Do you remember when I was showing Dorcas Haynes last time? And it was Friday the 13th. And I couldn't find some silks. I had them on the table when I was working, and I put a picture in the opening of how I work normally when I'm home. This is in my sewing room. I'm at actually my sewing table where my sewing machine is just right here, but I have a big open area next to it. So I sit here, and that picture is in the opening. I sit here with the Patoki frame, and I stitch, because then I can stitch two-handed. And my TV's right over there, and I've got space, and I've got a sewing chair that's all padded that doesn't recline, but you can kind of adjust it, and I can put my feet up underneath because there's a ledge, and I'm all set. And there's a big window here, so I got lots of light, but this is what happened. Yes, I found the silks, and I was starting to panic because I knew I had them on the table. And, of course, I looked under things, not there. I looked on the floor, not there. I knew they were here on this table. I couldn't find them. Well, do you see how the patoki frame is lifted up? It's not totally flat. There's a little space here. And what had happened is I had set that frame on some of the silks. Now, I didn't have this frame here when I was talking. What had happened is there's a drawer right here, right below the desk. And sometimes I will put this frame in the drawer on the edge. It just fits perfectly. It's hard to explain, but anyway, it fits perfectly right there because it's tilted. I can sit there, I can stitch. And what happened is when I moved it from the table to put it on the edge of that drawer, the silks got pushed into the drawer. And of course, I didn't think to open the drawer to look because it's sewing stuff in there. It's not stitching. And it wasn't till later that day when I went to get probably some clippers or something. See, the drawer is just right there. That's where all the silks were. But I was starting to panic because I thought, I'm missing 5 colors and I know they were right here. So I meant to share that right away. I should put that in the description. Yes, I found the silks. So let me see. I think what I'm going to do is retool. So I'm going to stop and clean this up. And then I'm going to show you a few things that I have a basket of things that are kitted up that I haven't started yet. And I don't know when I will start them. But I thought it would be fun to pull some out and show you because, well, then I got crazy when I was pulling them out. So it's like, I want to start this and this and this and this. Don't we all have that problem? But let me retool and I'll be right back. Hi, everyone. I'm back. And I think I forgot to say this in the last part. When I filmed the Carter House, between when I filmed it and when I uploaded it, was my 1-year flossiversary. And I didn't think about it till later. And I guess I should have made this like a flossiversary, but I'll just mention it to you. So maybe we'll do something later. I don't know. I can't believe it's been a year already. So what I just did is kind of retooled everything because I was watching Katie at So Tattered, and she was talking about this chart, Ann Kirby, 1845, that I had shown when I went to Hobby House. And Katie, you're going to laugh because I'm watching you show that. And I don't think you had mentioned that I had shown it yet. And you held it up and I thought, oh, I like that. And then I realized I have that. So you prompted me to dig this back out. And where is it? Let me look here. So as I was digging through, there it is. Thought I had everything ready. As I was digging through my basket, and I have a basket of charts and I have a basket of kitted or almost kitted. And I was digging through because I knew I had purchased, I got a silk pack for that, but I didn't have any linen. And it calls for hog bristle, 40 count hog bristle, which I have. So I'll show you that. But as I was digging this out, I thought, you know, I've got this giant basket of things that I want to start. Maybe it'd be fun occasionally to dig in the basket, see what's in the basket. So here is hog bristle, which looks a little more yellow than the cover. But look at the silks on it. Look at the colors on it. I don't want to take these out. So I thought, well, I could do the hog bristle, and then I looked at 40 count fiber on a whim latte, which is just a little bit lighter. This is latte, fiber on a whim. This is hog bristle. I don't want to mix them up. So I thought, well, I could do latte. I'm going to lay the silks out, but I'm going to make a note of it because I'm not sure yet. That's why, one reason I haven't started it. But actually, this hog bristle is 46, and this is 40. See, there's a little color difference, not much. And then I was looking at, this is Those Missing Stitches, Darling David. This is very similar to both of those. So this is the latte. It's a little bit more brown, a lot more brown than that. So I'm thinking, well, that might be an option. I'm not sure, but did I already mix these up? No. Do you do that? Okay, I saw a suggestion. I think it was in our meeting last night, Tudor Rose. And I'm gonna put this in the sack before I mess it up. Somebody mentioned, I can't remember who mentioned it, that they were either in a workshop, somebody mentioned it. Anyway, they saw this. They saw somebody that had written right in the selvage the name and the count. I thought, that is fantastic. Just used one of those micro tip permanent pens. So I'm gonna start doing that, because just when I pulled those out of our sacks, I almost mixed them up. So this one I got at Colorado Cross Stitcher. So she has this wonderful little tag here. But I'm thinking I'm going to write it, the name and the number, the count, so I don't mix it up. So anyway, Katie, you prompted me to pull this out and then pull out some things from, and I just pulled a small portion from the basket. And I'm not saying we're gonna look at all these right now, but we'll look at a few. Because some of these are ready to go. Some of them I need to tweak the linen, or, you know, maybe I'm missing a color, but it's like, I want to start all the stuff. And I was telling Laura that when I saw her, Laura of Brenda and the Serial Stitcher, I was telling her when we were at Hobby House, I said, you know, we might not be able to finish all the things, but we can start all the things. I thought, start more things. So this is one I've had kitted for a while, Marianne Kopp, 1839, by Brenda Juvet, With Thy Needle and Thread. Back it up, but look at that house. And I found the linen that I wanted to use. It's Amaryllis by Under the Sea, when I was at Cecilia's, and they even cut it to the size I needed. I need to move my pen so I don't mix it up or mark it. See how the cover is a little bit yellow? So that's the linen, Amaryllis by Under the Sea. And I've even got the flosses already on the floss ring with a tag, all set. But look how pretty these are together. And I don't know why that one is in a bag and not, oh, it's one DMC and the rest are hand-dyed. Okay, that's why. See, it's been so long, I don't even know why I did what I did. Look at those colors. Let me wind them up. Oh, look at that. I don't think I'm going to start this right away because it feels more spring to me. And I think I'll do it when it's in the winter and I'm missing spring. I think that's what I'll do. Or, you know, might start it tomorrow. don't know. I'm going to tuck all these things together. So that's one of the things that's ready to go in my basket. And when we went on our little trip and I knew I was going to stop at Cecilia's, that's one that I pulled so I could kit it at Cecilia's. So it's ready. Let me show you a couple that are a little bit, just things that maybe not everybody talks about. I don't know. There's so many things out there. How can you cover everything? I don't even have this one kitted with anything, and I was going through, and I just love it. It's by the Scarlet House, Christmas at Holly House. Let me back up so you can see it. Look at that. I don't have anything pulled for it. It's got DMC and also has NPI. Oh, I just love that. And what's it on? It's on Camouflage by Stitchins and Spice. I don't know that linen. Oh, I like that. See, this is going to be the problem. I'm going to want to start everything right now. And what was fun is I was looking through things. I forgot about some of these things. It's like, I don't even remember buying this. This one's all kitted. This is Primitive Hair, a Stitcher's Sampler. And it says, my soul is fed with needle and thread. Let me back up so you can see it. It's got bees, it's got scissors, thread, spools. Okay, it's called a Stitcher's Sampler. And it was kitted with what it called for. This is 30 count Old Salem linen. And then there's only one floss, and it is the Gentle Arts. Is it Garden Gate? Yes, Garden Gate. But you know what? I'm not doing 30 count because I got to do 2 threads, and I'm not doing it. I just don't like it. We've talked about this before. So guess what I found? A piece of old Massachusetts 40 count, which is really similar. It might be the same. It might just be a different name because it's a different count. So I'm going to tuck this in this kit so it's ready. So that one isn't as big. It's 136 by 193, and I tend to grab really big things, so maybe I had to throw some smaller things in my rotation. I should do that, I think. All right, how are we doing time-wise? Look at a couple more. Here's one that I don't see talked about much, and it might be because it's hard to find. It's in a little tiny package. Oh, and what do I have all these piled right in front of me too? I've got so much here, I'm already messed up. This is called, sorry for the crinkling, this is called Sheepish Manor. And it's little. I purchased this, I had to search for it online, and they told me it came all in a kit. Let's see who it's by. Sheepish Manor, Chelsea and me. All right, let me see if I can show this without giving anything away. It's just 63 by 71. I should pull that in there. Now it's charted with Gloriana, and I did buy it as a kit. That might be DMC, I'm not sure. It might be silk. All right, let me pull you some information so you can see. That's it, and I purchased it as a little kit. I think that might be silk. Oh, there it is. So that's one that's just little, and I just fell in love with it. So it took me a while to find somebody that had the kit. And that was probably over a year ago, so I don't remember who that was, and that's probably changed now anyway. But that's another little one that's all ready to go that I don't see talked about as much. Well, I already messed up. Now this is one, just stitching along, Sarah Ann Fernley, 1862, which I'm not doing the Black November right now because I'm working on other stuff and I didn't want to stop, but this one would be good. Just stitching along. And this one, I don't have a linen pulled, but I did order the black silk to go with it. It's with Splendor and also 103. Let me hold that up and I'll tell you what it is here. And this one, it says, it's true to the original. It's by Just Stitching Along. And it does have some Algerian eyelet. It's on 40 count with one strand of the Splendor and then the Versoise for the over one. There's over one. Must be the verse. I haven't opened it up to look. Must be the verse. But that one I don't have a linen, but I pulled that and I went, again, I forgot I had this, and that is a beautiful sampler. Now this one I've already totally kitted, and I'm not quite sure, I don't have a linen pulled. And I kitted this last summer when I was going to have knee surgery. Oh, I do have linen in here. And the knee surgery that was proposed was it wasn't a replacement, it was a repair. And it might have been a bad situation where I was going to be on crutches, no weight bearing for 6 weeks. I was terrified, but I knew I'd get through it. So I kitted up a bunch of things, and this is one of them. And I did not end up having the bad surgery. They got in there and the repair wasn't bad at all. The MRI showed it was, and it wasn't, yay. And it was just a week on a walker and then a month of physical therapy. But this is one I kitted up. And of course I haven't started now, but this is Land of the Free by Willow Hill Samplings. I've seen this on Instagram and it is beautiful. You know, the photos never do it justice. And this is, I pulled an XJU Old Sheep. Even though it's really a light linen, I might revisit that. I might change that. But I even had the floss. I made a little floss drop and put everything there. So it's all set. That's ready to go. I should start that. Oh, these colors are really pretty on here. So that is Land of the Free. So that's another one I have all kitted up, ready to go. And the verse says, Land of the Free because of the brave. Let me zoom in on that. So I really like that. I may have to revisit that and look and make sure that's the linen I want. Because when I kitted it, I didn't have much linen. Now I have some more, so I might re-kit that. And this one, looking at our time, maybe do 1 or 2 more. Let me know if you like this, and I'm not going to do it every time, but I might do it every once in a while. This one is How Doth the Little Busy Bee? A Beekeeper's Pincushion by Modern Folk Embroidery. Dark navy linen, let me back up so you can see it, with a gold thread. And it's not very big. Let's see. 6 by 6 on 32. It's 94 by 107. So that's another little one I should add into the rotation. So this is the linen. That's it. that's the linen. And I'll show you the thread. And this is the thread that's called for. But when I was at, I think it was Nashville Needlework, I was looking at the Versoix, and I liked that gold. It's a little darker, it's a little richer. So I think I'm going to switch to that. Let's see if I can hold this up all at once. Not very well. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. So that's all set. Maybe some of these little ones I should just start and add in there because they wouldn't take very long. Then, you know, as I told you, if I have a finish, I can start something. Or I just start things. You know, we make up these rules for ourselves. Why? I know. It's to help us stay on track. But I'm just going to do what I want to do. So, even if I break my own rule. So, but I am trying not to start anything new. And I'm also trying not to get so caught up in buying everything that I see, you know, that fear of missing out. So I've done well on that, just really thoughtfully purchasing things because I've got a lot of stuff that I haven't even touched. And I bought it because I loved it. So I want to start with that. This is one, and for the life of me, I can't remember where I saw it or even when I purchased it. It's been a while though. This is Anne Chilton, 1847 by the Scarlet House. I just love that. Was that new at market? Copyright's 2023. That might have been new at market. I just love the little basket there. And I've got the linen. It's 40 count vellum is what I've picked. And I already pulled the DMC. So that's all set to go. What's the size on that one? 144 by 136. So 140 count, approximately 6 by 7, 7 by 7. So just need to act, you know, do you just throw a dart at a board? Do you, I don't know. It's usually what I feel like working on. Because then I know I'll work on it a long time. Let's do one more. Show you one I haven't kitted, and then we'll do one more kit. Oh, I don't have the linen. But these are different. And I think I saw someone doing this on Instagram. And they're absolutely stunning. I haven't seen anyone else working on them. This is, and I will not get the name right, it's French, Jardin. I'm not even going to attempt it. It's, the English version would be Sampler and Bouquet. And I am not going to try to pronounce it. But almost Art Deco feeling. And there's 3 of them. Am I missing one? Of course, I'm missing one. Because you can put them all together. I'm missing the last one. Now, I'm going to have to make a note to order that last one so I have it. No, do I have it? I do have them all. Okay, that makes me feel better. I thought, why in the world would I purchase all but one? So that's the first one. Here's the second one. And here's the third one. And if you did it on 40 count, it's 9 by 5 approximately. It's 192 by 104. And it has 4 colors. Kitted, no, that's not right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 colors. Kitted in DMC. I think I can show this page okay because it isn't the chart. There's the colors. And if you put all 4 of them together, let me hold it up and read it to you. If you put all four together, it would be 472 by 104. So I just thought those are beautiful. And of course, here I have, there's the colors. I have them all set. So I wanted to show you that because that's one that I've only seen on Instagram, someone working on it, and it was gorgeous. That prompted me to immediately to pull the DMC and get the charts. I think I got the charts at 1, 2, 3 stitch. But I did not get linen because I didn't know when I would start it, and I didn't want to kit it with the linen yet. Let's do one more. Let's do this one. Do you mind if I do 2 more? It's like I want to show all this stuff because then I can, I don't know, that makes me feel like I'm not starting it, but I can talk about it and it's kind of the same. I know, that's silly. This is what I saw at the Attic. My lady's needle, M. Woods, 1759. The original is tiny. Put it back so you can see. It is beautiful. This is, here's the original. Original sampler. It is just beautiful. Now I haven't pulled a linen yet. I'm thinking I'm going to do it on 46 count. I don't remember if there's any specialty stitches. It's done on 40 for the pattern. I was thinking of doing it on 46. Here are the silks. Oh, they're all in here. It's kind of a mess. Here's the silks. And then there's, it calls for a Luminous by Gloriana, and Jean helped me because she did not have that, and she said this would work well. So of course, I'm going to always follow Jean's advice because she knows everything, I think. I love her floss tubes. I love watching what she's stitching on. I'm going to try to show you these silks. Look at that. Oh. So M. Woods, and I know that one's going to take a little more concentration. That might be why I haven't started it yet, but maybe not. How do we talk ourselves out of things? Just need to start it. And let me show you one more. And this is going to go along with the vintage lintel that I showed you earlier, because I think I might switch this. This is one that I kitted when I went to the attic in January. And it's one that many of you know, many of you have done, Come Into My Garden by Blackbird. And is that the original on the back? No, it's the same. And I'm just going to look real quick to see. It is on 36 Velt, which is kind of green. I think I can flip it like this. So there's a close-up. So what I did is I kitted it with, it's got the hand dyed. See if I can hold this up. I am using 36 Lollybrook. But I'm thinking I might switch it to this, because remember, that's got a little green in it, the lintel, vintage lintel. I think I might switch. Let me see if I can. I should have put these on a floss ring, but no, because I didn't think about that. Here's the threads. Now that I'm looking at it, I think I'm going to put it on this lintel. I like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to switch, and I'm going to use the Lollybrock for something else. So that's the Lollybrock, which is really beautiful. It's got a little bit of blue in it. Look at this. See that? So I think I might save that and put the lintel in there. All right, I'm gonna keep that. So that's all kitted, but that's a big one. Well, bigger. 245 by 253. I'll have to think about that. All right, 2 more. Then I have no more in my basket, and then we'll finish up. This one, this is even on a floss ring. I'm trying to remember. Katie, is this the one so tattered? Is this the one you're starting with your friend? Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird. I've got this one all ready to go. And I have it, what do I have it on? 40 count Heartland. Which I thought was a good match. And here's all the, yeah, hand dyed. Well, there's the hand dyed. I should start that with you guys. Oh, so pretty. That one's all set. I even got the floss ring. Got the little doodad. I mean, it's all set. Should start that. If they're doing that on, I printed out, just flash it, my working copy. What happened? It was all set. Something happened that I didn't start that. I don't know. It's all set. I think it's got, maybe what stopped me is that satin stitch at the very top. Right at the very top. And I usually start the top corner. I think that's, well, I could do a little and then jump down to the flowers. Maybe that stopped me. I don't know. I shouldn't have, but you never know. This is the one I'm actually thinking about starting after all of this, although I should start one of these little ones. This is one I kitted recently. This is Winter is Past. I kitted it at Cross Stitch Peddler down in Decatur, Alabama. Winter is Past by Blackbird. Oh, it is so pretty. And I pulled, she had some 36 count American chestnut. And I pulled the threads already. Did I put those on the ring? I must have. Look at the colors. This is what I'm thinking of starting. The colors are speaking to me. And like I said, usually I have to start something because it's speaking to me. So I think this might be a new start. Winter is past. So if I'm working on it this winter, I can keep thinking winter's going to be past soon. It's going to be spring. Maybe. I don't know. So anyway, that's all I'm going to show you today because, do I have any more? No, I'm out in the basket. And I just check my notes here, make sure I covered everything. I'll put the links to some of the things we talked about in the description. And in 2 weeks, I think, is Thanksgiving. And so we got a busy week leading up to that. Then we've got family coming for Thanksgiving. So it probably won't be 2 weeks. It'll probably be 3 weeks. I'll be back. And I'll probably do a floss tube in December. But then I will not do one in January. We've got some things that are coming up that family things, travel things, lots of things happening. So probably be hard to do one in January. So it might be February before I'm back. But we'll have one in 3 weeks and then maybe one in December. And then a little bit of a break and I'll be back. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for all of you that have subscribed, for have given the thumbs up. Please comment anything you want to know about in the comments, as we talked about earlier with the comments on why is there no J. I hadn't even thought of that. So that was a great question. So I think that's all. I'm going to really have a mess to clean up now to make sure I get all of my partial kits back together. But until next time, I want to wish you happy stitching. Bye, everybody.